Across 3 shows, the Vampire Diaries universe introduced villains that we love to hate and hate to love, and these 10 are the absolute best. Although the Vampire Diaries has lovable heroes and protagonists, the franchise really shines when it comes to the villains. Few villains are forgettable. Almost none of them, minus Malivore, are outright boring. However, not all of them rank the same. Some characters, like Marcel and Enzo, don't land among the best villains because they were never truly villains in the franchise. Instead, they read more like complicated anti-heroes who sometimes do bad things. Meanwhile, other villains, like Cade or Dark Josie, were memorable but underutilized. However, these 10 villains are not only well-developed and entertaining to watch but also powerful and committed to truly wicked deeds. They gave the main characters a run for their money, making them the best of the best. 10. The Hollow. When it comes to epic Vampire Diaries universe, Reyna Cruz and the Hollow are neck and neck. They are both formidable foes who have an undying drive to kill their targets. For Reyna, it's any marked vampires. For the Hollow, it's the Lebonaire bloodline, the original family, and anyone who gets in the way of her power. They both have interesting backstories, and the Hollow's even connects to the werewolf origin story. Ultimately, the Hollow beats out Reyna because of the witch's lack of morals and her ability to influence others. Reyna Cruz can manipulate her targets by normal human means. She can use Caroline to get to Stefan. However, the Hollow can naturally manipulate people, supernaturally manipulate people, and take over bodies. She can be almost anyone, anywhere, making it extremely difficult to fight back. Additionally, she has no qualms with killing children or humans. 9. Elijah Mikaelson. Elijah is an interesting character because he is a villain in the Vampire Diaries, but one of the least villainous in the originals. Don't get me wrong, he's still a Mikaelson in the spin-off, but he actually feels like he's trying to do good most of the time in the spin-off. He's equally great in both roles, though. Unlike most of the villains, Elijah Mikaelson looks civilized from the outside. He has a calm voice and speaks eloquently. He wears a nice suit. He manipulates rather than uses brute force. However, he's actually stronger than the ordinary vampires, wicked smart, and will do anything for his family. He lives, always and forever, to a fault, even when it means betraying Elena or saving his murderous brother's life. However, he ranks lower on the list because he spends more time in the franchise as a positive-leaning anti-hero rather than a straight-up villain. 8. Silas. Katherine Pierce might be the better doppelganger villain, but Silas certainly deserves a place among the bests. The immortal being, who would probably kill me if I called him a vampire, is full of confidence and snark, making him an extremely entertaining villain to watch. He has all the charm of Stefan without the non-stop brooding and self-hatred. On top of that, he's ruthless and sees everyone as ants beneath his shoe, which is a dangerous combination. Adding to that, Silas's psychic abilities are so strong that he can compel people, look like anyone, and inflict physical pain with just his mind. His powers are strong enough to trick 2 of the strongest witches of all time, Ketsia and Bonnie, and incapacitate the original hybrid, Klaus. He makes Klaus think he is dying. 7. The Trinity. When it comes to the Trinity, each of them has a claim to a spot on the best villains list. Aurora is the most likable and vindictive of the 3. Tristan is the most manipulative and hateable. Lucien is the most calculated and powerful. If only one could exist on the list, it would have to be Lucien, since he becomes an enhanced original vampire and has the biggest impact on the storyline in the originals. Still, the 3 are ultimately better together than they are apart, which is why they belong on this list as a group. The 3 are almost always presenting a different front. One is evil. One is vengeful. One is a friend. The 3 shift back and forth, instead of staying stagnant. Plus, they have the Strix at their disposal, even if the group only thinks they're following Tristan. 6. The Necromancer. Because of Legacies' Monster of the Week format, there are few truly memorable villains that last. Malivore is a walking mudman with virtually no motivation and no personality. He's the least interesting villain of all time. Clark is great, but not on the level of the originals and the Vampire Diaries villains. The Necromancer is the one villain worthy of that ranking. The Necromancer might seem like a comic relief villain who wants fame, but he's shockingly smart and resourceful. He uses Malivore to get monsters that will mindlessly serve him. His harmless exterior actually makes him more dangerous, as he can manipulate smart people like Hope and Dark Josie. On top of that, he has the obvious ability to bring people back to life and control their every move. That said, he's still in the middle of the pack among great TVD universe villains in terms of power and ruthlessness. 5. Esther and Finn Mikaelson movie stills DB. Esther is a terrible mother and a memorable villain. She caused the problem of the original family, and then acts shocked when they become terrible monsters. She is happy to slaughter her whole family in the original show and steal people's bodies in the spin-off. In both the Vampire Diaries and the originals, she partners up with her oldest son, Mikaelson. On his own, Finn is a sympathetic villain, and he likely wouldn't rank on this list. He was staked and boxed for almost 900 years, so he has a right to hate Klaus and the siblings who enabled the hybrid. However, his mother knows how to manipulate him. She uses his anger at his siblings and his love for her as a weapon. Ultimately, they are two of the more formidable foes and definitely up there with Katherine as one of the longest-lasting enemies. For Aunt Dahlia. Aunt Dahlia is, by far, the best villain of the originals, and she's one of the best in the entire franchise. The witch has incredible powers that rival those of Bonnie or Ketsia. The writing makes her feel like a serious danger even before she appears on screen in the present day. She kidnaps her sister's child and threatens to murder her sister's family because of a bargain made in desperation. Dahlia does this under the guise of protecting Freya when,